for unidentified soldiers that lost their lives in the First and Second World War. Rudyard Kipling was the man responsible for coming up with this inscription. The phrase "known unto God" appears on more than 212,000 Commonwealth gravestones around the world. Some of these gravestones can be seen around the Somme region today. The name Somme comes from a Celtic word meaning tranquility. Just over 100 years ago, on the 24th of June 1916, at 6 a.m. in the morning, the Somme region was anything but calm. British and French troops had begun a 7-day artillery bombardment on the German front lines. The strategy was to weaken the barbed wire in front of the German lines, which would allow for advancement across no man's land for the Allied soldiers. On the 1st of July 1916, at 7:30 in the morning, the whistles blew and the bugles sounded, and the advancement across no man's land had begun. Our 1st of July being the original anniversary of the Battle of the Boyne, many Ulstermen with pride wore their orange collarettes. These men were heard shouting, "God save the King! Remember 1690! No surrender!" Many of these brave and courageous men fell as the German machine gunners sprang out of their trenches and cut them down. Casualties at the Somme topped 1 million, including the deaths of more than 300,000. The campaign dragged on for days, 140 days to be exact, and at the end of the battle only 5 to 7 miles approximately had been taken. The Somme would become the bloodiest battle in the history of the British military. Isn't it good this evening, friends, to come together and remember our forefathers who gave their tomorrow for our today? Of course, many of these men we remember this evening wanted a bright future, but they failed to see it. Many joined the army thinking it would be a better life for them. Others joined to fight for king and country, but we will never return to British soil. Lest we forget them. But of course, today as a nation, we are good at coming together and remembering those who have sacrificed their lives for us. And it's proper that we should do that. But of course, as a nation, we have forgotten our God. We as a nation have forgotten our God. Can I say to those people in the audience today, in our unionist community, who have influence and who are leaders in our community, can I say this on the authority of God's word? Stand up for biblical truths. It is better to honor God than honor man. Stand up for traditional marriage. Stand up for the unborn child. Better to honor God than to honor man. Can I also say this? As we remember the brave Ulstermen who stood up to the bully boys of the Nazis, we have our own bully boys here in Ulster, the enemies of Ulster, Sinn Féin, IRA. No more red lines. No more holding this country to ransom. No more concessions. Enough is enough. The Unionist community have had a bellyful of lectures on respect and equality. Practice what you preach, Michelle O'Neill. But friends, can I say this? There was another battle that raged thousands of years ago. The battle took place on a hill called Calvary. This battle was over you, friend. This battle was about you. You see, Christ went to Calvary in the battle against Satan. He went into battle with sin. He went into battle with death. And Jesus went into the firing line to give you a hope tonight, friends. To give you a future. To give you freedom and liberty from sin. He went into the conflict alone. He alone won the freedom. He alone won the victory, and He alone is able to save you this evening. What a wonderful God we have. Lest we forget Him. He alone is worthy this evening. Satan knows tonight, friends, that he is a defeated foe. He knows that the lake of fire awaits. But he is determined to cause havoc before he goes. I wonder tonight, friends, are you in bondage? Is your soul weighed down in sin? Are you Satan's captive? You see, friends, sin takes away the liberty. Sin takes away the freedom. Sin imprisons and captures you. You see, sin will take us further than we want to go. And the challenge tonight is this, friends. Are you outside of Christ? You know, there are those who will point men to a church. There are those who will point men to good works. There are those who say their prayers. There are those who will do good things. And that's admirable. But sadly, friends, the Word of God is very clear. The Word of God clearly teaches us that there's only one way, and that's through Christ alone. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 and 9 says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not of yourself. It is the gift of God." Acts chapter 4, verse 12 is very clear in its teaching. "Nor is there salvation in any other, for there is no other name under heaven given among men by which we must be saved." You see, friend, the church didn't go to Calvary. Some other individual didn't go to Calvary. It was Jesus Christ alone. He alone bearing the shame. He alone bearing our sin. He alone bearing the cost for you, friends, and for me. Why? Because He loves you tonight. You see, He alone tonight, friends, can set you free. He alone can give you a bright future. He alone can give you a hope tonight. Because He alone was the only one that could conquer sin in the grave. He is alive forevermore. You see, to go to someone else or to somebody else is in vain, or to something else. He alone can save. Will you rise up tonight? Will you advance forward tonight and run to Christ? Run to Him this evening, because He is the great substitute. You know, there was a man called Billy McFadden. Many of you have maybe heard of him. And Billy McFadden was an Ulster man. And suddenly grenades spilt all over the ground. And Billy McFadden, to save the lives of his Ulster men and his comrades, threw himself on the hand grenades, blew himself up, but saved the lives of his comrades and his friends. What a great picture of Christ. What a wonderful example of the one who loves you this evening. Jesus died on a cross to be your substitute this evening, friends. You know, the First World War ended in 1918. And they said that this war would end all wars. But isn't it true that there's been many battles since then? Peace has been shattered in this world. You see, friends, Christ by his death and resurrection brought a peace. He brought a peace for mankind. Jesus is the only one, friends, that can fulfill that peace. Jesus is the only one, friends, who can save us and get us to heaven. He offers you this evening a wonderful gift of salvation. I wonder will you take it? I wonder will you accept it? In a few minutes' time, we will remember those in the First and Second World Wars and those who have lost their lives in conflicts since then. But let us think on what the hymn writer penned. Lest I forget Gethsemane, lest I forget thine agony, lest I forget thy love for me, lead me to Calvary. Have you come this evening by the way of the cross? Can you say this evening, friend, that your name is written in the Lamb's book of life? Can you say, friends, that you are known to God? May God bless these few thoughts this evening. We're going to have our